Alright guys, today's the day that we get to go to the one place that I've been excited for ever since this channel was just an idea in my head. We're gonna go to my favorite Vietnamese pho restaurant in all of Orlando that I've had the pleasure of finding, because it is literally a hidden gem that you guys have to come and visit whenever you come to Orlando. Or if you're from here, you better go to this place. If you love Vietnamese food, you love just eating that warm and delicious broth to help you feel better, help you have that, oh man, it's just, I love it. It's just amazing to me. But if you just want to have something that'll kind of help you get through the day, or if you really just want to have some delicious soup and you're tired of the same ramen that you may have all the time, you guys have to go to this Vietnamese pho place. As always, the information is going to be down below, but I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, we're finally here. The place that I've been really excited to tell you guys about ever since I started this YouTube channel. Obviously the name of this channel is Latin Chopsticks, so obviously that would tell you my favorite foods are any type of Spanish, Hispanic food from literally every country you can think of. But Asian food has a special place in my heart. Where we're at now is the best Vietnamese place that I've been able to find here in Orlando, and I've been to a few. I still have more to explore, but this is going to be one of the best places that you'll go to if you ever come and visit Orlando. Alright guys, today I'm with my cousin Gianna, and we're going to be trying out this food. This is her first time here. She's never been here before, and I don't even think she's really had much of an experience with Vietnamese food. We are going to have pho today, so that's going to be our main dish that we're going to have. And she decided to go with the same thing as me, so what I like to eat when I come here, because this is a place I do come to often, is the tripe and beef brisket pho with rice noodles and all that stuff. We also ordered appetizers to get started, just to kind of get a variety. I will be honest, I haven't had the appetizers here before, but if they're anywhere near as good as the pho is, I'm sure that the appetizers are going to be out of this world. We got ourselves spring rolls that I believe have shrimp and pork in it, and we also got ourselves some chicken dumplings, because we have to try dumplings. Any place that has dumplings that we go to, we're gonna be having dumplings on this channel. Alright guys, we got our first dishes. So we have our chicken dumplings. They're pan fried. They look so good right now. And we also got our shrimp and pork spring rolls, and I believe that's peanut butter based sauce that we're gonna go ahead and have with it. So this stuff looks amazing. You got some fresh, nice decorated carrots with some cabbage and lettuce, and then here you have the actual crispy, glistening in the light chicken dumplings with the sauce. And then here you have the shrimp and pork. You have the shrimp and pork spring rolls with a peanut butter or peanut based sauce, which looks amazing. Look, it's like perfectly decorated. You can see perfectly inside of the spring roll itself. You have shrimp, I believe that's a basil leaf. You have cabbage, you have bean sprouts. And then supposedly somewhere in there, there's pork as well. Alright guys, we're gonna try the chicken dumpling with the sauce real quick. Let's get that wet in there. It slightly burned my tongue. It's fresh, it just came out of the kitchen. Everything that I always order here is like really fresh. But it's really good. It's really good. I get dumplings all the time, and in a lot of different places. Actually, I go to an Asian market and I bring fresh dumplings to my house and I make them myself, so I'm very picky when I have dumplings, but that's probably not a good thing to say since I've yet to find a dumpling I don't like. So I might be a little bit biased, but this is great. This is like really fresh. It's chicken, which usually I'm used to having the pork dumplings. You guys can literally see there's little cabbage pieces in there. The chicken is nice and white, so it's not like chunky or you know, type of chicken nugget type dumpling. So you know it's actual chicken that's in there. And then you just put it a little bit with the sauce, and it's just soak it ever so slightly, and that's just enough flavor to really get it going. Alright guys, and now we're gonna be trying this. So, as we were saying, all this, it's like perfectly compact. It looks so good. We're definitely gonna be trying this now. We're gonna be wetting it right in there and dipping it right in that peanut sauce. Which when I first discovered peanut sauce, it was really interesting to me. Because as a person, I always think of peanut butter as like peanut butter and jelly or like some sort of dessert or maybe like a really light breakfast that has a lot of protein in it. But in these dishes, like ever since I started eating Vietnamese food and even Thai food, it's always been like a shocker, but it's always so good. So let's try this, guys. The spring roll is so fresh because of what it has in it. See, as you guys can see, it has the cabbage, it has rice noodles, it has the shrimp itself, slightly small amount of pork that just adds that extra layer of flavor in there. But when you cover it with this peanut sauce, it's just, it adds a whole extra buttery and creaminess to the very fresh and crunch from the spring roll itself. This is, it's very good. It's very good because it's very light in flavor. It's just definitely, it just tastes very fresh. It's like I'm eating a very fresh piece of spring roll. It's just, it's hard to describe, but it's just, it's very fresh. So when you put it together with this nuttiness and creaminess of the peanut sauce, it becomes a very kind of a complicated flavor, but it's a very good complicated flavor. Now, before they bring out the thawed, they do bring this out. I'm not sure if the camera catches it. If not, we'll definitely get a different angle. But this is just very fresh vegetables. Well, really, it's just bean sprouts, mint, and lemon. That once you get that really rich, piping hot plate of pho in front of you, you can fill it up to however amount you want. You get to choose. And I know in some other pho places that I've been to, they give you the bean sprouts in the soup, and it really does take away from the freshness. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't know if the camera can see it, but you can actually see the steam coming off of this. This is piping hot. The meat that they put in there, which we ordered biscuit and tripe. I'm sorry, yeah, brisket and tripe. They put it in there raw, and it cooks literally from the time they walk from the kitchen out here, and it's like perfect and tender and ready to eat. So I was mentioning to you guys before that these delicious soup, you could see all the different ingredients in there just floating on the surface. You have the delicious tripe, which if you guys have never had it, you guys have to try this because it absorbs the flavors from the broth itself. You have this tender piece right here with brisket. You have some green onions, some red onions, and then of course, besides the broth, down here, under all the stuff that they put in it, you have the fresh rice noodles. Ooh, that looks so good. So to this itself, you get to choose between mint that you can add to it, and you could actually get some bean sprouts, nice and fresh. You get some of the bean sprouts and you just kind of put it right on there. Or at least that's what I like to do. Now, one thing I will say is I love sriracha, so I always like to squeeze just a little bit of sriracha because it adds a little layer of spiciness and a little layer of extra garlicky flavor to the soup itself. So we'll go ahead and mix that up. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try that broth. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh man. It's very rich beef flavored because most of their broth that they choose, they do have vegetarian dishes and they have vegetarian broths and vegetarian pho. But this is definitely not vegetarian or vegetarian friendly. But this is just an amazing amount of flavor just in the little bit of the broth that they put on there because of the way that they cook it here. So I remember one of the times I came, I asked them how the broth itself was made. And they said that they actually cook down the bone broth, like the bones of different pieces of the meat that they put in there. And they cook it for 48 to 72 hours. So usually places will cook for like 15 hours, 24 hours. At least me at home, that's what I normally do whenever I want to make some authentic dish that has a soup base to it. But it's just the amount of flavor that comes off this thing. And this is just the broth. So when you get that rich of a broth and you have these noodles that are constantly absorbing the flavor, you have these tripes that also absorb the flavor, you have the actual brisket pieces that add flavor to the soup itself, it's just out of this world. Time to try this out, guys. Oh man, it's just amazing. I had a little piece of tripe sneak in my mouth there, so but it's so good. The tripe itself tastes just like the flavor of the soup, but it's the best way for me to describe it is very gelatinous, but not really. It's like a mixture of gelatinous mixed with cartilage. So if you're anybody that loves, like if you are someone that loves cartilage, oh my gosh, it just adds like a little bit of a crunchy texture to the soup itself that complements the green onions and like the vegetables that are inside. The crazy thing is this place is literally anywhere between a 30 to 40 minute drive from my house, depending on the amount of traffic that we have. Being Orlando, it is one of the, not like LA, but it's really bad traffic. It's one of the worst places that has traffic outside of obviously LA and New York. But Orlando is a nightmare sometimes with the amount of traffic that it has. With that said, I'd come here every single week if I could, just to have this broth, just to have this food in me. Because it's that type of food that if you're feeling down, if you're not feeling too well, if your stomach's not feeling good, you just come and have a plate of this, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, oh my gosh, and you'll be set. You'll be 100% back to normal, most likely by the next day. Now, I'm probably very biased, but still, it is delicious. All right, guys, we just finished eating inside of the pho place, but literally right next door, it looks like they opened a boba tea place. So with all that richness and flavor and all that deliciousness we just had, I do want something sweet to end the day with. So we're gonna go ahead and stop by. They have a special of buy one get one free for the boba tea. So we definitely gotta take advantage of that. Go ahead and check it out, Thank you. All right, guys, so we stopped at it. Never been there before. It's called like Picasso Moments. I haven't tried it yet, but definitely we gotta try this. is delicious. I gotta wait a little bit for it to cool down because it's a little warm. It does have ice in it, but we literally just got it and I walked out, so. But definitely, it's a great place to try. You guys really have to come here. If you're gonna have some of the most delicious pho you can get in Orlando, you guys have to come right next door and get some boba tea because this is really good.